Hello everyone, it is Mrs. Red here again to reveal what is inside the October 18 Red's Art Cart. As always, I like to give you a little bit of a teaser as to what could be inside. Here we go, the example artwork. I have to do this to sort of like so that you can get the correct colour. A little bit overexposed in here again today because we've got overcast weather. It always happens whenever I'm recording. How about we go and see what is inside the art cart. So welcome to the October 18 Red's Art Cart, and what is inside the cart this month. It is a watercolour theme, and the one thing you will notice is that there is no tubes of watercolour. Now the other thing is I've panned in really close because of that overcast day we're having outside. It's really sort of not helping me light wise, and like I mentioned before, the green that is in the anchor is not coming out on the screen very well, but if you're lucky enough to have received an art cart this month, you will notice it in your information card, the example artwork on there. You should be able to see the green coming out of it lovely in that one. Alright, so let's start pulling apart this lovely little display that I have created here so that we can start talking about the products. We'll start with the marker pen. So it's the Winsor & Newton brand, and with the marker pen, as opposed to the sticks or the tubes, they only come in one series, so you're paying the same price, doesn't matter what colour you choose, and there's about 34 in each range. I'll do a demo with that one very soon. Just like this one, this little stick. Love these little sticks. These are really handy if you're to travel, because you don't have to worry about the drying time of the tubes of paint and carrying a palette and all of that. These ones do come in series, so I think there's 5 series, or could be 4. I could be mistaken. Again, I think there's about 34 colours in that range as well. This one here is the masking fluid. Now, if you haven't used masking fluid before, make sure you watch the video of the anchor being done, because you'll see me really put the masking fluid on to get that work so that there's no bleeding happening there. I might just quickly show you an example that I did before. I don't know if the light's going to pick it up. You can just see a little bit of bleeding happening inside, but not too bad. So yeah, watch the video for the anchor to see me really using the masking fluid, but I am going to use it again today, and everyone who's got the art cart is receiving one of these 75ml bottles, which is perfect because these things last you a long time, as long as you make sure you tie the lid back up. The brush, one of my favorites, it is a Jazz Art brush, and it is an actual watercolor brush, and I have used these in the art room for years, and now I've only used this particular one for that artwork, and that's why you've got a little bit of a green tinge to the bristles. But these paintbrushes never lose their shape. I could, if I have a round, no, I can't find one. Oh yep, here we go. This one here, different size. That one has been used in the art room. Oh, look at the colour of my fingers. They're not that red, I promise, it's the light. You can see the bristles on that brush. That has been used by hundreds of people, including kids, and the bristles remain beautiful. So these brushes are worth their weight in gold, and they're not that expensive either. Can't remember how much this particular one has cost, but it is very affordable. And the cotton buds are for the masking fluid, and then we go to the paper. So everyone who's receiving the cart is receiving 2 sheets of A4. I know it says 10 sheets here, but that's because that's what it comes in as a pack, and you can buy that pack from the Mrs. Red's Art Shop, which is an online store. 200 GSM, and that's what that artwork has been created on, and it's what I'm going to be doing the demonstration on now. Alright, change the camera angle again, really struggling with that light, as I said. So let's start with the masking fluid. Give it a quick shake, doesn't need much. The most important thing with the masking fluid is that when you have finished using it, that you put the lid back on. And this is the reason why I've given you all some cotton tips, is because masking fluid really ruins your brushes, and there is masking fluid cleaner out there, but if you can get away without using a brush, you're better off. And you can also see the sort of like the gunk that happens with it. That will happen pretty quickly because, again, this stuff doesn't need to have too much air time. So pop that little bubble. And like I said before, watch the video of the anchor and you'll see all this happening anyway. So I'm not sure how well you'll actually see me putting this on. Yeah, you can just roughly see it. It's off-white. Some of the masking fluids you buy can be a yellow, which makes it easier to see. And you can also buy colourless masking fluid as well. And masking fluid that actually is permanent as well, so you don't actually take it off. Now, I have no idea what pattern I'm doing here. I'm just having a bit of fun with it. Alright, so I've put as much down as I'm going to for the demonstration. You need to let that completely dry before you start using your watercolours, because if your paintbrush touches that, it will get masking fluid on the bristles, and like I said, it is really, really hard to get off. So make sure that the next step, this is really dry. Throw this in the bin and make sure you put your lid back on. Alright, so you'll notice that it still looks shiny. Oh, and also I did end up adding another circle after I stopped the video. It looks shiny, it is tacky, but it is definitely dry because I've waited at least 10 minutes. I'm always getting cat hair on this at the moment because my black cat is molting. So if you see me picking things, it's probably cat hair. Alright, so let's start with the watercolour marker pen. These are dual nibs, so you're getting a fine nib and a brush nib. I think I use the brush nib mainly for the anchor work. So with these, I've done quite a bit of experimenting with them. To begin with, I was like, yeah, I don't know, for the price, do they really work? If you put them down like this, and then you leave that for half a day, no, it is not going to become a watercolour. I just wanted to do a line as well. However, we're not going to do that. We're going to apply water straight away with our brush. So straight away you start to get that watercolour blend. Now the quicker you can get the water onto it, the better off you're going to be. You can see that is actually, well, no, it's all right. Because I have put down a block colour there, we're going to get away with not seeing any of the marks left by the pen. Might be different for the line. And just adding more water and trying to wash it out. So now if I go for that line, I put it through like that, you can see it all running, looking beautiful. Still can see that line though, so perhaps the amount of time that it took me to get back to it isn't enough. So it needs to be quick. You do need to be quick with it. I would not put a wet brush onto the nib though. I don't think they're designed to do that. Alright, so it's been about 5 minutes since I did these marks, and you can see there is a beautiful graduation happening through there, and you can also see that I left that pen mark too long, which probably was 1 minute, but it's too long to apply watercolour and not be able to see it. So the next thing I want to do is just add some colour around here. Now you can touch I'll put it through the centre. I'm going right over the masking fluid. That's fine, not a problem, it's dry. Probably applied too much to there. There's really no point actually. Oh, well, I'll do it anyway, because you're going to be able to see beautiful watercolour marks that will happen in there. Now, remember, you've got to let the ink dry, or the paint dry, before you remove that masking fluid. Otherwise you're going to tear your paper, and it will be ineffective as well, because it will actually mark where you wanted to keep it nice and white. So let's move on to the stick. Again, with the stick, if I put a mark down, which I shall do, we'll do that here. If I just do a line like that, you are going to be able to see that line come through. I will also do this just so I can show you. Again, use these a few times, not a huge amount, but really, really love them. Would love to use them a lot more. So if we apply our paintbrush to that, again, you can see that that mark is still there. And it's actually really hard to get rid of it. How's that colour? Oh, the colour's looking okay. This is the green that I used in the anchor. Really washing it out though, because there's not a lot of it that's gone down. If I do it here, I don't know whether the camera is picking it up, but you can still see a little scratchiness from this little stick, this little watercolour stick. That's not too bad. However, the way I have preferred to use them is actually put the wet brush onto the stick and then apply. So I'm applying that all over the other masking fluid that I had. And I think you've got a little bit more control over how deep colour you want from the one stick. And then of course from there I can keep washing it out. Now, using the two together, if I put down, you would have to put your pen down first because you're going to be using a wet area. You can still see that. Yep. So we'll just make that nice and wet. And then from there, I'm just going to wash the brush. Make sure there's no blue. Put the green on. And then use that in there. And you're creating a new colour altogether. Absolutely beautiful. Watercolour is one of my favourite mediums to use. Just love the effects you can do with it. Let's just have a go at, that's a wet crayon that I've just put down there. Just want to see, oh, it's going out of focus a bit there. Hang on. There we go. Cannot see the mark that I left there at all. So have a play with these. These are great. As well as these, you just don't want to leave that drying time too long. And I might, no, other side. I'm just going to go around. You'll see me doing all of this in the anchor artwork too. Doesn't matter that it's gone across the top there and bled into the other colour. I've got a little bit of blue on that, but that's okay. Of course, you need to use colours that like each other. You don't want to use, say, yellow and purple together, because they don't like each other in watercolour land, and they're going to make a brown for you. So there we go. I'm just going to let that dry now, and then we'll remove the masking fluid. Alright, that is now all lovely and dry, so we're going to remove the masking fluid. It should look like the anchor. Again, I'm not too sure how much I applied here, and we may get a little bit of bleeding underneath, but we will find out. And of course, this looks beautiful and green and blue, and what you're seeing looks a little bit washed out, so I'm sorry about that. So, best way to get this off, you can use your finger. However, your finger can pick up a bit of the paint and it can push it into that white area. So, as easy as it is to use your finger, I don't actually recommend it. an eraser I feel is the best one for it, and you just want to make sure it's nice and clean as well. This one actually is, it doesn't look it, but it is. So just pull that over the top. I don't know if you can see that coming up. No, yeah, you can. Then you should be able to pick it up, depending on if you've got fingernails or not, and be able to peel that away like that. And that has worked really well this time. There's no bleeding that's happening underneath that. You can use the eraser for the whole lot of it, or if you've got fingernails, you can pick it up. So I'm now, I don't know if you can see that. No. I'm now just using the eraser to get it off. It is a little bit of a dirty exercise. You'll end up with a lot of eraser rubbings and of course the masking fluid as well. But there we go, that's all come off. Beautiful. Kind of looks like another sort of boat or something with 4 little people in it. So there we go. That's pretty much the contents of the cart. Sorry, I'm just mirror imaging here. That's the contents of the cart. Remember, you've got the little artist trading card in your cart as well. So you can do a little artwork on that and send that back to me. Make sure you use your social media, and if you are watching this and don't have a subscription to the art cart yet, just head to the website that will be at the end of this video and have a look and subscribe, because these carts are a lot of fun, and because they turn up on your door as a mystery box, you don't know what's inside. I do. It just creates a lot of excitement. It feels a little bit like you're having a birthday every month. All right, thanks for listening and putting up with bad lighting for today, and we will see you again next month for the November Red's Art Cart. Bye.